Alright, so here's the problem I have. So I can't see if my garage door is open from the house, and the garage door isn't connected to the house. Well, it's connected, but I can't get in there, and I can't see if the door is open or not. So what I'd like to do is put a button next to my front door that opens and closes my garage door, but I'd also like to see if my garage door is open or if it's closed. First, I check to see what kind of power is going through the push buttons of my garage door, and it's about 17 volts DC, not AC. Alright, so in case you don't know how to check what voltage is coming out of the push buttons on your garage door opener, first you should probably start with, well, I don't think it really matters if you start with AC or DC, but I'm starting with DC, and you could probably read the owner's manual. Well, you could read your owner's manual, or you could just trace back your wires. So I know these wires over here are going to a push button over there, and then a push button behind me. So I know that this one and this one are where the push buttons are, and then this one and this one are actually for the infrared sensor bar that detects if there's something in the way of the garage door opener. So anyway, you're going to want to probe either end, and it looks like we got 13.3 volts, kind of. It fluctuates kind of bit. It fluctuates quite a bit. It goes between 13 to 17 volts, and since I got a good voltage reading, you know it's DC because it's set on DC. If it was on AC and you did that, see how the ripple voltage on there is only 1 volt. So it's definitely not going to be 1 volt AC. It's going to be roughly 13 volts DC. And you'll kind of see that if it's the other way around. So if it was AC, you get most of your voltage through the AC test, and then you'll have a DC offset that'll show up. So that'll be like 1 or 2 volts as well, or less. But that's how you test to see if your garage door opener is running AC or DC on the push buttons. I'm used to, well, every other garage door I've ever messed with before this, it was 24 volts AC, so that was a little surprising for me. So my design changed a little bit, but this should still work for most, if not all, garage doors. All you'd have to do if your garage door is AC is just put a rectifier on it and make it DC. And then if your garage door has more voltage, just adjust the resistor that I'm going to be using. So here's my plan. So what I'm going to do is, I have lying around one of these magnet sensors. That's really the better choice for what I'm doing. So basically, standard magnet switch. I don't know if it's normally open or normally closed, but when the magnet gets close to the sensor, it either opens or closes the circuit. So this is really the way to go. So that's that. That way I can use some bipolar LEDs that are green and red, and then feed this button, put the bipolar LEDs inside the button. That way it'll light up green when the door is closed and red when the door is open. That way at night I can just look at the button and then push the button to turn it on and off. Well, open or close the door. So I'm just gonna wire this up real quick and see where it goes from there. So I'm just going to use this relay this will be working 100% of the time. So I'm just gonna wire it up the same way I wired it before, which is just a standard H-bridge configuration, just to reverse the polarity as the switch opens and closes. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, so that should be okay. So anyway, so all you have to do now is everything's fine, everything's DC, DC, well it is DC, the polarity's correct, you got positive 12 volts. When the door's opened or closed, now you have negative 12 volts. So that's literally all it does. So essentially what you have is you have this magnet switch that opens and closes the circuit to the relay, and then on the contacts on the relay you just have a little so the way the relay works is you have your wires that go into the middle of the switch, and then if the relay is on, the contacts closer to this side get connected. When it's off, this side gets connected. So all you have to do is cross it. That way when it's on you have one polarity, when it's off you have another polarity. If you have any questions on that, I have another video that goes into detail on how that works. But it's a very simple circuit. There's not much of anything going on. So this should work 100% of the time. Now I'm just going to button it up and then install it. Let's move on to the button. Now, let's see if I can zoom in a little because it's going to be... Alright, so I've already taken this button apart. In the past, this button was used for a water circulation pump, and a lot of these doorbell buttons have a little light inside here, and all they do is they just solder an incandescent bulb across these contacts over here. That way, when the button is not being pressed, you can see where the button is at night, and then when you press the button, it shorts out the light, making full contact, and that, you know, does what you need to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to put, I think I'll put one LED for now, and if I need more later, I'll put more later. I got one of these open already. So, if I can... Well, who knows? If this thing fits real well, I'll put two in there just to make it extra bright. Let's see. You know what? What do I want to do? Yeah, I'll just put one in for now. It's going to be a little tight, so I think one will be better than two. Gotta make sure I'm in the camera. Yep. I have a feeling this is too high up, and I'm gonna have to do a little trickery to get it a little closer together, but I might be lucky. Probably not. No. Not lucky. Nope.
Okay. It's not great. Let's see. That's okay, but still not too great. Let's see. This might be okay. Let's see. All right. So it still works as a button, which is probably the most important part. Let's see. Let's try to get this quickly set up. Check to see if it works for the most part. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's promising. Something happened. Lights went out. Oh, lights are back. Okay. Alexa, turn off work light. I mean, looks like it works, but let's turn off the lights and see if you can see it better. Okay, you can see a nice, whoa, nice green button. Then, nice red button. And then if I push the button real quick, the light should go out. I'm not going to do it too long though. Okay, and that means it works because when you push the button, it needs to short out. So, Alexa, turn on work light. Alright, so the setup works. This is as simple as I could think of doing it. Now all I have to do is install it, drill a hole in something to shove that sucker in, and then I'm done. That goes over to my front door. So I ended up just pulling it out, putting low voltage through it. I don't know if that's really okay or not, but I really don't see any problem with it. Here's the box. Here's another garage door opener that I have. So I just have 12 volts coming off of this, and then I have the trigger wire goes into this box. Then I have the magnet switch coming back into here, and then coming in to the house over there. Okay, so here's the push button. So right now it's red. And then the door is closed. Open. Closed.